Okay, so I have provided you guys with 16 questions for your consideration when thinking about the next stage in your career. Really think carefully about what it is that you want from your job and your employer. Are there things you're happy to compromise on? Are there things that are a hard no? Those questions are for you to sit down, be really honest with yourself, and think about and create your list of what you need from your next employer. And I would also really urge you not to just think about the money. I know we all have a minimum expenditure that we need to maintain or enhance our quality of life, but money isn't everything. And an employer may give you more in the short term, but in the long term, your salary could plateau. So really think carefully. Don't just go for the highest salary. Don't be blinded by the money. Really think about your whole employment package, flexibility, culture, career progression, the level of autonomy, the maturity of that primary care network. It all goes into shaping what your job package could look like. Don't just go for the highest salary. And then I shared with you my 3 top tips to help you make your job application stand out. And then I thought the next logical piece of advice would be how to stand out in your job interview. And just to remind you guys, I am an employer myself, and THC Primary Care, we manage multiple primary care networks, and we have a combined workforce budget of over £2 million. So I am confident in this area. I know my stuff. I know what I'm looking for. I know when somebody walks through the door in person or virtually and they have prepared. I know a good applicant when I see one. So it's obvious, but the first piece of advice would be to research the company or research your primary care network. If they've got an online presence, this should be nice and easy. Not all primary care networks have got an online presence, so then you need to be resourceful. Do you know somebody in the network or close to the network that you can have an informal conversation with? And you're also looking to see if they've got a website. Is it up to date? Can you see who works there? Do they share their vision or their mission? Do they present what they do in their network? This is all helpful intel to help you research for your job interview, because they will likely ask you, what do you know about our organisation? What do you know about our primary care network? Can you describe what a primary care network is? What are some of the services that we provide? All of that is easily accessible online or picking up the phone. Okay, tip number 2, make sure you have some questions. You will be asked at the end of your interview, do you have any questions for us? And I love it when the applicant brings a notebook. They've got, I would say, bring around about 10 questions, write down 10 questions, and 10 may seem a lot, but a lot of those hopefully will be answered throughout your interview. So you can just tick them off, and then that you will have a couple of questions to ask at the end to demonstrate that you have been listening. To demonstrate that you are keen, that you're proactive when you're asking, during your conversation, you might want to write down some questions and we'll write down some thoughts or just highlight a bullet point just for you to revisit later. I love it when people do that, like you're taking notes. I think that shows you're really listening. You don't want to interrupt, but you can come back and revisit that point. Make sure you have any questions. It is not acceptable to go to an interview and go, no, I don't have any questions at the very, very end. And if in doubt, I'll give you a couple. Could you describe the culture of your organisation? Or I might say, could you describe the culture of your organisation in no more than 5 words? What would be my top 3 priorities in my first 3 months? And what has a network achieved that you are really proud of? Another question I might ask is, why do you like working in the primary care network? I may also ask, what are some of the challenges that you are anticipating as the network moves forwards? So there you go. You've got some questions. Okay, my third tip to help you stand out in your job interview is, after the job interview, send them an email thanking them for their consideration. And you may want to express in the interview that the interview confirmed to you that you would love to join their team. And it also gives you the opportunity to follow up if you've forgotten to say anything. If you want to highlight a specific point, this is your opportunity, and do this ASAP. So these are the things that I think will give you just the competitive edge, because so few people cannot be bothered to research. They don't have any questions and they don't follow up. Make sure you leave a lasting impression regardless of the outcome. I hope that this is helpful.